This woman named Linda was riding a motorcycle with her boyfriend that day. While buying drinks, Linda was shocked when her boyfriend left her. She ended up walking aimlessly, homeless, and financially in disarray. Linda yearned for a decent life and a home of her own. From then on, Linda began a new life, determined to change. She even went to nursing school to change her fate. Her efforts paid off, and she was summoned by a wealthy man named Hank. In that luxurious home, Linda met Mr. Hank's daughter, Jenny, and his wife, Felicia. Hank called Linda to care for his wife, who had been bedridden for a long time due to an illness. Mr. Hank also had another child, named Monica, who lived in a different city with her husband. Besides her family, there were many workers at Mr. Hank's horse farm. Linda was invited there and introduced to them. Felicia's condition worsened. Weakened, she handed Jenny a ring. However, Jenny refused to wear it, not ready to lose her mother. She still hoped her mother would recover and be healthy again. Until one day, when her mother was in a slump, Jenny saw her father alone with Linda. Worse still, Linda was seen holding Mr. Hank's face. Naturally, Jenny was upset by this, and from then on, Jenny was convinced that Linda was not a good person. Shortly afterward, Monica came to visit her mother. However, the next day, Felicia died from an illness. The entire family was in mourning, including Linda. Despite this, Jenny's suspicions about Linda only grew stronger. Not without reason, since her wife left her, Linda seemed to be more daring in approaching Mr. Hank. They often went out together, and even worse, they even became intimate. Linda seemed to be deliberately approaching Mr. Hank, seducing him, and they made out repeatedly. Mr. Hank didn't come home that night, which naturally made Jenny very upset with her father. The atmosphere was mourning, but her father went for a walk and didn't come home. Jenny's suspicions were confirmed. Hank asked his children to gather, where Mr. Hank announced that he wanted to marry Linda. Monica agreed with her father's decision, but Jenny didn't. Jenny tried to convince Monica that Linda wasn't a good person, but Monica thought Jenny was overreacting. Despite Jenny's continued objections, Linda and Hank's wedding went ahead. A commotion ensued at the party as Jenny objected to Linda wearing her mother's ring. Several months passed, and the marriage seemed to be going well. However, one day, Jenny was shocked to see Linda making out with a worker named Kevin. Despite Jenny's discovery, their behavior persisted. Even Jenny's boyfriend, Rick, saw them making out in the stables. Initially, Rick wanted to report the incident to Mr. Hank, but Linda forbade him and instead invited him to be intimate to keep her secret. However, despite Linda's payment, Rick still reported what he saw to Jenny, who would later report it to her father. However, love overshadowed everything. Mr. Hank didn't believe Jenny's words, especially since Jenny had always disliked Linda, so there was no way Linda would be playing behind his back, especially with the farm workers. However, Jenny's words slowly proved true. Mr. Hank often saw Linda with Kevin. He even drove Linda home that night. Hank began to doubt Linda's loyalty. That night, an argument ensued. Linda boldly stated that she could get anything she wanted, including being with Kevin. Hearing this, Mr. Hank became furious and threatened to divorce Linda. Linda panicked and immediately apologized to Mr. Hank. Naturally, Linda feared losing the luxury she had enjoyed. Since then, Linda has been kind and kept a distance from Kevin. However, since being with Linda, Mr. Hank's health has worsened, and who knows what's going on. One night, Linda invited Rick and Kevin over for dinner. Shortly afterward, a crashing sound was heard from Hank's room. Upon investigation, Hank was found lying on the floor. Medical personnel arrived, but sadly, Hank had already passed away. Linda told the police that Hank died of a heart attack, but Jenny didn't believe her. Jenny's anger escalated when she learned her father was to be cremated. She rejected the decision and demanded an autopsy, believing his death was unnatural. Furthermore, Rick also said that before the incident, Linda was busy in the kitchen. Monica soon discovered a large amount of medication in the kitchen. The autopsy confirmed Hank died from an overdose, and Linda was the culprit. Ultimately, Linda had to answer for her actions. Furthermore, she also had to face a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from Hank's children for her actions. Finally, the film ended.